What's up, everybody? This is going to be my combined breakdown for both episodes 1 and 2 of Ahsoka. It was a really good premiere packed full of goodies, and I'm going to get into all of it right now. Before I start, though, I will say this video is going to dive into full spoilers on both episodes, so only go forward if you've seen both, or if you haven't and you just don't care about being spoiled. Now let's get into it. I'd usually start this off with a breakdown of the story and my thoughts on that for the episode, but I can't this week. I have to acknowledge the score by Kevin Kiner because it was absolutely brilliant. Now, I don't want to overstep and disrespect the great John Williams, but this guy is legit. He won't be John Williams, or maybe he will. Who knows? We can't say that, but that's a tall mountain to climb regardless of thoughts, but that doesn't mean he can't be the next iconic composer in this franchise. The thought of having Dave Filoni teaming up with Kevin Kiner for years to come to rhyme with George Lucas and John Williams teaming up is dreamy. I mean, we truly might have something special here. Now, with that out of the way, let's get right into the episode. The first was a strong start to the show. It nails the Rebels references. The score, as I just said, was phenomenal, and it features multiple epic lightsaber fights. Oh, and there was an opening crawl. The episode opens up with Morgan Elsbeth being transported for a trial, but of course, she won't reach it because Baylan and Shin are inbound to rescue her. They take the New Republic ship with ease, and holy shit, this scene was awesome. Baylan's hallway scene was great, Shin's display of agility and darkness was terrifying, and most of all, the score, once again, behind these two was perfect. We then travel to the Night Sister Temple featured in the trailers as Ahsoka finds the map to the unknown galaxy, but I noticed something here. On the walls of the temple, now I know this was a Night Sister temple, but these figures on the wall very much resembled the wills of the Force in my opinion. Might just be nothing, but it's just a thought I had, and I thought it was worth mentioning. Ahsoka is then called in to help after the attack on the ship and is reunited with Hera. Hera suggests she go to Sabine for help because of her artist's eye, and maybe she could decipher the map for her, so while Ahsoka heads to Lothal, we jump there as Clancy Brown makes a surprise appearance as Ryder Azadi, which was great to see another Rebels voice actor capable of making that jump from animation to live action, and it was just great to see Clancy Brown too. But anyway, Sabine is in a pretty dark spot still, especially because she misses Ezra so much, but she's kind of gone full emo. She skips a ceremony for the Ghost Crew, and her intro scene is pretty controversial too, I'm seeing. She's speeding away from the city with rock music on, and while I agree that isn't very Star Warsy, I still thought it fit the scene as well as Sabine's character, so I was okay with it, but I still understand why people didn't love it. Then Morgan, Baylan, and Shin go to the destroyed temple where we start to see Baylan's doubt in Morgan Elsbeth. Once Ahsoka gets with Sabine on the fall, we see them start to work out their issues and deciphering the map. Their relationship very much resembles Anakin and Ahsoka in my opinion in the early seasons of the Clone Wars, and I can't wait to see it develop. To properly represent that, you have to have Sabine disobeying Ahsoka, which she does, taking the map off her ship even though she told her not to, and of course, it ends badly. Sabine is attacked by Morgan's droids, which lead her down to Shin, where they have an epic fight. Shin gets the best of her, stabbing her to escape from the incoming Ahsoka, and the episode ends with Sabine lying on the ground. I thought this premiere is absolutely fantastic for what this show needs to be, as it very much is a successor to Rebels, but it's also kind of subtle and piggybacking off the animated series. I want to acknowledge the score of these episodes once again because it was legit that great, and the lightsaber fights, while they weren't prequel level, were very, very good in what they were doing. I loved Baylan and Shin scenes throughout the whole episode, but the gravitas they brought to the fights were awesome. And that's going to do it for my episode 1 breakdown, so let's just get right into episode 2. Episode 2 opens with Sabine in the hospital after being stabbed by Shin, and well, it's not a new Star Wars project without some controversy. People are livid that she survived this, but I think it's kind of absolutely absurd to be mad about this, and it's certainly not anything like Reva surviving 2 stabbings in Kenobi. For one, Sabine is a Mandalorian. They're just bred different. They're warriors. You can also say that she kind of barely got hit. I mean, she really didn't. It's on the side of her body, she gets medical attention right away, and she's a Mandalorian. Those 3 things are reason enough, in my opinion, for her to survive this. We then see Baylan and Shin on the planet Cetos, or Cetos. This is a new planet and features a temple or structure that Morgan Elsbeth says was built by an ancient people. The logical answer to that is her people, the Night Sisters, but there's also this idea in my head that it could have been the Rakata. I think it's far-fetched, but you genuinely don't know how crazy Filoni is going to go. We then see the map to the new galaxy again, and Baylan reveals that it's called Peridia. He says the children at the Jedi Temple used to call it this in tales, but Morgan claims them to be true, and we get yet another example of Balin's doubt in Morgan Elsbeth. A big part of this episode, though, is the droids. I guess not a big part story-wise, although Chopper does do something important, but they're key to the vibe of the show, and an aspect of good Star Wars, in my opinion, is it always features insanely hilarious droids being little shits. Filoni nails his droid Chopper, which he actually does the voice work for, as the antics between Hera and Chop were great and brought me right back to Star Wars Rebels. But Hu Yang actually stole the show. Now he's a bit of a smartass in the Clone Wars, but he took it over the top in this show with Sabine. I mean, he literally spent probably 5 minutes just roasting the shit out of her, telling her she's the worst Jedi he's ever seen. I kind of felt bad for her, but it was hilarious. Now, Ahsoka and Hera spend most of this episode on Corellia, which we know from Solo: A Star Wars Story, as they discover some ex-Imperials are still loyal to the Empire. Shocker, it goes under the New Republic's nose, even with their rise to power. Ahsoka fights the Inquisitor Morak, who we do learn that's how you pronounce his name. It's not Merrick. A lot of people, oh my god, it's Galen Merrick. No, it's Morak. It's not Sam Witwer, don't worry. And one of Elsbeth's droids as Hera chases the escaping hyperdrive. Hera succeeds as Chopper gets a tracking device on the ship, and now the crew knows that the villains are on Cetos. Sabine is healed by the end of this episode and returns to the comms tower, where she takes her armor out of storage, chops her hair back to the short hair we were accustomed to in Rebels, and rejoins Ahsoka as her apprentice on their journey to bring Ezra back from Peridea. Much like the first episode, I loved the score in this one. There were more great lightsaber fights, and I'm not going to say it, but hello, Hera. But that aside, I really enjoyed the first 2 episodes of this show. Everything from the lightsaber fights, to the score from Kevin Kiner, to the nods to Star Wars Rebels. I loved it. But as always, let me know what you thought about the 2-episode premiere of Ahsoka down in the comments below, and make sure you have a great day.